Buying a home is more than just a transaction. It's a journey, and for many it can feel overwhelming, confusing, and even a little scary. But hey, you're not alone. Welcome to From Rents to Roots, Homeownership with Work Hard Mortgage, where we share real stories from real people who have navigated the home buying process. In each episode, we sit down with first-time homebuyers, industry experts, and real estate professionals to talk about the challenges, surprises, and lessons they've learned along the way. If you're dreaming of owning a home but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome, Naomi McClure, to From Rents to Roots, where we get to know some of the realtors shaping this county here.
That's so awesome. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, doing some good stuff out there, right?
Hopefully. I think it's good.
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
You're from here. Where'd you grow up?
Born in Kentucky. I was an Army brat.
Okay.
My mother was from Japan. My dad from Arizona. That's going way, way back.
Yes.
Maybe too far back. But I have been coming back and forth. Like, Utah's been a second home for me since 78. I went to BYU.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
And we've owned property here since the 90s.
Okay.
But I met my husband in California. We worked in the television industry for a lot of years.
Okay.
And around 2017, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get out of television and go into real estate. I'd always been interested, and so I'm like, he's like, just go for it if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it was perfect timing, all before the pandemic. And for a minute, everyone's like, oh, we're not going to make any money. And then it was just exactly the opposite. Like, business was insane.
Yeah.
And then I had my license in Utah and California for a year overlap, knowing that my husband was getting ready to retire. And we figured, well, we came up here, we bought a home, and we said if we don't want it by the time we retire, we'll just keep it for an investment.
Sure.
But we love it. We love it here.
Good.
Utah is, as you guys know, it's fantastic. Who doesn't want to live here? Everybody wants to live here. Let's go.
It is a great place. I agree.
Yes, it's fantastic. We love it.
Good. That's awesome. It's been a home for you for a long time, it sounds like then.
Yes, it's been like a second home for a lot.
Yeah.
My kids all went to BYU too, so we were always coming back and forth from California, so it was great.
Did you raise your kids here then, or no?
No, in California.
It was in California.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, I'm guessing then some of them are still out here then?
One is here. So when we bought our house here, which is up in Suncrest in Draper, 3 of the 4 were living here.
Okay.
And over the course of the pandemic, everyone went somewhere else.
Okay.
And so we have one daughter that's living here now and several grandkids, but
Okay.
Yeah. What did you do in the television industry?
So my husband was a production sound mixer, and for a little while I was trying to break into acting, but when I was trying to break in, diversity was not a thing. Like, Asians were just not getting hired. You probably could name 2, like Lucy Liu and Ming Na Wen. That's about it.
Yeah.
But so I worked as a stand-in, which is you do camera setups and rehearsals for the actors while they're doing their thing. And it was really fun. So we were mainly worked in sitcoms. We worked on Frasier. I was on that show for 11 years. My husband was a production sound mixer for 10 of those years. He did Friends, Wizards of Waverly Place. We just worked on a bunch of shows. It's a great industry, but it's work. It's like a lot of work.
Yes. You're doing the actual work part, right?
Well, no, don't get me wrong. The actors work hard too. It's long hours. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of work. And for me, it was a lot of dirty work. These cables and plugging in the XLRs and everything, it's like, I get it. I used to crawl around the floor and climb up in the rafters. Yeah.
Is that something that a lot of people maybe miss out on with some of those things? They think they see the glitter and the gold and think it's all easy, but you're saying a lot of work is involved in that.
Just like any profession you're in, if you're going to be good at it, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do think, oh, just get into show business. It'll be so easy.
Yeah.
And for some people, it is the luck of the draw.
Sure.
But you definitely need to have some talent.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I like it.
Good. So obviously you have a good work ethic. You've done well. How has that served you well in real estate with that pivoting to real estate?
So I think for me in real estate, the best part about having worked in Hollywood and then transitioning is the fact that you work long hours. Back in those days when I worked in television, we could be shooting a show and working for 14, 15-hour days. Wow. Every once in a while, you'd have a weird 21-hour day, just keep going because it had to be done by a certain time.
Yeah.
And takes a lot of people and a lot of time. And so being able to work long hours, like for instance, I got a call this morning from a client saying, hey, as soon as you have a chance, will you give me a call so we can chat? I'm going to be in meetings. And I literally called him right back and he's like, oh, I didn't know you'd be awake yet. And I'm like,
I'm here.
I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
We got to be up. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I think the being used to working long hours and working hard helps a lot. And then also just, I think that business is a very social business, or at least it was when I worked in it. I think COVID changed some things, but you're always talking to new people and you're shifting crews. So many people might be working on one show and then they shift over. And it's the same with real estate. You're never working exactly with the same people. Yeah. You're never working with the same agents, even though you have your brokerage people. You're not necessarily working with them. You're working beside them. But
Sure.
So it's helpful to be a people person, I think, when you're working in real estate. It's, again, all about the relationships.
Yeah. And you're obviously, so you've been doing real estate now since 2017, you said? Okay.
That's when I was getting my license and then, shifted in.
Okay. And obviously the fact that you're still doing it means you're doing well.
The thing is, I really do love it. I don't know how people could stay in this business in real estate if you don't love it, because there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of hair pulling, I think, like of my own hair, not someone else's. I'd like to pull someone else's hair sometimes, but there's a lot of frustration that comes with it. But ultimately, the thing that I love about it, and one of the things that drew me to it, is that you're actually helping people. It's fun to do a sitcom, but most of the time it's nonsensical. You've watched it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the redeeming value. There's a lot of dumb jokes and kind of sometimes really gross stuff that goes on. So at least in real estate, you feel like you're making a difference in a person's life, I think, if you're doing it right.
I think you're definitely making a difference.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So helping people with what is generally their biggest investment comes with a lot of responsibility, but it's also so rewarding when everything works out for your client. And I think it is a skill. It's not just, oh, I'll do this, and if it works out for them, okay. You've got to be thinking all the time, what is in the best interest of my client and how am I going to get what they need for them?
And let's talk about clients and stuff like that. So how, obviously, not being from here, a second home for you, so you obviously knew people here, but to break into a new area and to start to kind of get that network, to get clients and stuff like that, my guess was hard at first.
So it is a ton of work. It's a ton of work. But fortunately, doing it for the second time, because obviously I had to break in the first time, and I knew tons of people, so I think it took me 3 months to get my first transaction going when I was doing it the first time in California, which in hindsight, that's not bad. That's pretty fast.
That is.
And then it just began to snowball. But coming here to Utah, even though I knew the areas really well, which that was a big plus for me versus someone who's just moving here and doesn't know anything about any area. I already knew where everything was. I knew how to read the streets on the freeway where people are so confused. Like, what do you mean 134th? Okay, we'll explain that later. Roundabouts and crossing the freeway to get on, like all those things, I already knew all that. So it helps to know that, but now I forgot the question.
As far as getting clients and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the good thing was that I knew to be patient, that I knew it was going to take some time. The first time I got going, I did tons of open houses for other agents when I had nothing going on. And I had tons of transactions from open houses as well. So I knew what to do the second time. And I feel like I got going pretty fast, which was really nice. And I'm a faith person, so I leave a lot of it to the man upstairs because
it's good.
I trust him. But it was not as hard as I would have thought it would be, but it was because I knew what was going to happen. I kind of knew what the process was. I wasn't stressing, oh my goodness, it's been like 2 months, I don't have something. It takes a while to get that ball rolling. But now it's just a nice little steady stream, and it's good. I
know Case is new to the industry, and it's hard to get started sometimes.
It's tough at the beginning. It's a grind.
I feel like you're doing the right thing, because one of the reasons I'm actually even here is because I met Case at a networking event. Shout out to Pillar to Post, Jared Fenn team. But That's part of it. You have to just be out there and doing something for your business every day, even if you feel like it isn't something. So I would go to open houses on the weekends if I didn't have something to do, or I would, be constantly looking at properties, or if I saw something for sale that looked interesting, I would just look up the information and kind of make sure I knew everything. So networking, just being out there as much as you can, I think personally makes a difference, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, I guess, what advice would you have, because you've rebuilt and restarted twice, what advice, besides just getting yourself out there, would you have for maybe a newer real estate agent or a loan officer as well?
Yeah, so I think maybe one of the hardest things that maybe I could be wrong, it's just an opinion, is a lot of people who are already established, they got their people, right? Oh, I trust this lender, I trust this title company, and that's who you want to go with. But you're often forced, based on how the transaction goes, to go with someone else.
Yeah.
And so there's always a little bit of, I would say, a little anxiety, feeling like, is this person going to know what they're doing? Is it going to be a smooth transaction, or are they going to drop the ball on me? Because if your lender drops the ball, or if your title company drops the ball, it all lands back on you ultimately, right?
Yes.
Because it's the seller or the buyer is going to be like, my agent did or didn't do this.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, oh, the title company messed up, or the lender messed up. They're not going to do that.
Group it into one thing. Yeah.
So I think in order to build trust, you have to know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, you've got to study your numbers. You've got to know what are the rates. When someone comes at you with a question, you got to have an answer, or be willing to say, you know what, I don't know right off the top of my head. Let me get back to you. And then get back to them.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is just building trust, right? You want the agent to trust you, and then ultimately clients will start to trust you. And they're going to look online. They're going to look and see what kind of reviews you have. I think most people do that nowadays, and they want to see that other people have trusted you. So it's just a constant relationship build, I think, and trying to build that trust.
Yeah, kind of like how you said, it just kind of snowballs after, a couple years.
Yes,
it kind of
so
builds
it
up
takes
and-
a little bit of
Yeah,
time,
definitely.
right, to get going. But once you do, and you take care of your clients, you keep in touch with them, you'll move forward. It'll be great.
Have you gotten a lot of repeat business from buyers that you helped out in the past?
Yes, actually. So I've been here 5 years now. I could have counted this up, but even just in this past year, I've had at least two repeat. I helped them buy, and then I helped them sell, and then I helped them buy again.
That's awesome.
That's just out of two clients that are coming off the top of my head. That's 5 transactions.
Yeah.
And one of them was over $1 million home out in Harriman. The other one was a starter townhome, and then they sold that and then moved up into about a $750,000-$800,000 home. So it works, right?
and
And that's just 2 transactions. So as long as you do your best, for me personally, I feel like my main thing is not about the numbers. So when I first started, and people used to think I was crazy, I would not calculate my commission. I would not even know what my commission would be until I would get my check, and then I'd look and I'm like, is this right? And then I'd try and go back and make sure it was right, which generally it is. You have an accounting person, it's going to be right. But I thought to myself, if I calculate my commission right off the top, I'm going to work for me, because I'm concerned, am I going to get the dollar that I thought I was going to get?
Yeah. Sure.
But if I didn't calculate it, then I was just working for them, and then the money would just come and the relationships would come. So
that's a cool mindset. I like that.
So that's what I would do. So people would think you're crazy, but ultimately, if you're doing your job well, the money will follow. It's just going to come. So I try not to worry about the money. I just try and worry about my clients and putting them first. And in fact, like thinking back, my very first client that I had I met him at my very first open house in California. He came in, he's like, I really like this place. I'm not sure it's exactly what I want, would you be interested in helping me find a place? And I'm like, yeah, okay. Of course I would be.
Let me think about this.
So
Okay,
so he wasn't my first transaction, but he was one of my first clients because it took a while for him to find something. Not that long, but he did find something fairly quick. And then they lived there for a few years, and then they also sold and upsized. It does work. I think I don't know, maybe it's a vibe or something that comes off of you. Are you just trying to make money off of me, or are you really trying to help me? And I think that's what not calculating a commission does for you. You're like, I'm sincerely wanting to help them, and then in the end, I'll be like, oh, what did I make?
Yeah.
Yay! This is good.
This is good. I like that. Like commission breath or something like that. I've heard it said sometimes,
Yeah.
but where you can tell, oh, this guy needs this money. I can tell.
Yeah.
And so comes across as they're just working for them, right? Like you said.
But I was in a fortunate position that, number one, we were in a good financial state when I started.
Sure.
My husband still had a fantastic job. So if I utterly failed, there was no pressure upon
You're
me.
still okay.
We were okay. I get it if you're like trying to support your family and you're breaking in and it's like so much pressure to like succeed.
Yeah.
That little desperation can creep in. I've just blessed that I haven't been in that position.
Yeah.
I understand it though. But I think if you can like, keep that down,
Keep it down. Even when it is real.
yes,
For some people.
then you're going to be more successful because you're genuinely, your clients are going to feel like you're working for them, like you're trying to get this done for them. And that's most people, unless you have a real jerky client, which I have had, they have a genuine gratitude towards you. So it just, the positive builds and builds versus that negative underlying factor.
I like that. Let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
So talking to buyers right now, there's a lot of people on the fence. You know, interest rates going to come down. I'm just going to wait till interest rates fall, which people have been saying that now for 2-3 years.
Right.
So you got a lot of people that are on the fence wondering, should I buy? Is homeownership even for me? What would you say to these buyers out there right now that are really trying to figure out, does it make sense to buy a home even anymore?
Everybody has the argument, if you wait till interest rates go down, then the buyer pool goes up, right? And that's only logical. So where if you can afford to buy now, you have less competition, the home price is more negotiable, versus later on where, yes, the interest rate's lower, but now the home price is raising and you have all this competition, and are you going to be able to get your offer accepted? So I think my advice is always buy when you can. Like, if you can buy. I'm a big follower of Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a 100% debt-free guy. And our lives could not be better had we not followed him, because we understood money better just by listening to his show and how to make money work for you. So my advice to my clients is always, look, you're reaching out to me for a reason. You obviously are thinking you want to buy. There's something in your home situation that you're not happy with now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking about buying. You're wanting a change, whether it's bigger, a different location, and you're probably wanting to get your investing going. In my opinion, the home is one of the greatest and easiest investments you can make if you can afford to buy. So as soon as you can afford to, I would buy. And then you watch the interest rates, you refinance when it makes sense for you to refinance, get your interest rate down when you can, and pay off your house as soon as you can. If you have a 30-year mortgage, wonderful. If you get some windfalls, pay a little bit more towards your principal, and the amount of interest you're saving in the long run is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And if you can get yourself to that debt-free state, number one, all the pressure comes off because you're not having to make money. You just need a little bit to live. Number two, your home value is still appreciating because that's just how Utah is. Yes, it plateaus, but it goes up and plateaus and goes up and plateaus. Once in a while, you get a little drop, but except for 2008, it's been a long time since there's been a major drop.
Yes.
So everything is about timing. Don't sell it when it's down. Wait if you can. Sell it when it's opportune time for you.
Yeah. Love it.
That's what I say to buyers.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys say?
No,
I want to know what you say.
I think you're right, because it's a forced savings plan in a way, right, for
Yes.
people. And I think if you just look at human nature, because sometimes people are like, hey, renting's this and buying a home is this, and so it's higher, so why should I do that? Because I can save money renting. But the reality is you'll grow into whatever income you have, right? And so if your rent's this, you're going to use that money to go out to eat, to do all these different things. Whereas if you have it towards a mortgage, now it's a forced savings plan where you are actually paying down principal, hopefully even quicker, like you're saying. Plus you get depreciation that will happen, does happen.
Right.
Just if you look at the facts, home ownership versus renting, home ownership's net worth is by far leaps and so far
Yeah.
above renting.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
And it is the old adage, okay, you may not paying your mortgage, but you're paying someone's mortgage.
Yeah.
So no matter what, you're paying it.
Yes.
The question is, do you get any of that money back or not? And obviously when you're renting, you don't
Yeah.
get any of it back.
Yeah.
When you're in home ownership, you get some of it back, almost to the point where, depending on how long you live there, you've lived rent free.
Yeah.
Because the money is, you've put it in there, but it's still yours.
Yes. Yeah. No. Again, if you look long term, it's so much better for you. I get that short term there is some benefit sometimes to renting, but long term, home ownership far outpaces. And so I'm with you there. What about to somebody looking to sell a home? Is it a good time to sell? What advice would you give to sellers right now?
Again, most sellers, when they choose to sell, if you don't have to sell, then you time the market, right? Wait until it's a good buyer pool.
Sure.
But in Utah, there's always buyers because we have a housing issue here in Utah, right? So there's always going to be buyers. I think the biggest mistake sellers or agents, the biggest disservice they do to their sellers is not getting the house in tip-top shape. I think any home that you make sure it is show perfect is going to sell. So I literally just had a home on the market. It went up a week ago on the 16th of May. So today's what, the 27th?
28th.
So we went active on the 16th. We had an open house that weekend, and we had three offers on Monday, and the home was listed at $1,295 million.
Wow.
But I'm not kidding you. You walked into that home and you were just like, oh, this
Wow.
is so nice.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, my sellers, they had their furniture there and they didn't want to, they were like, we can't move the furniture until we move. So it's got to be sold. But I said, okay, but can we pack up all your tchotchkes, take the art off the wall, and I
Yep.
want my stager to come in, and they're going to hold this house together so it looks very like a model home. Everything has to flow, and nothing makes me cringe more than to look at a listing and just like, here's 55 bottles of shampoo on the bathroom counter, and
Yeah.
your dirty dishes are actually in the sink, not just a stack, but like
Yeah.
a blob, like
Yeah.
your furniture is weirdly organized in the living room. No, the days of doing nothing in the house, just selling, is not going to cut it.
Yep.
You have to do something. I hate when I walk up to a listing, I'm bringing clients, and the front door is just covered in dust and there's webs, and you're just like, okay, your first impression was not good.
Yeah.
You have to do some labor. And I know a lot of agents don't, or don't even ask their clients to do it. I'm the kind that was like, hey, if you don't have time, do you care if I come over and sweep off this and wipe your door down? Is it okay if and I will do a lot of stuff. I've had some agent friends like, I've never done something like that, not even once. And I'm like, I don't like to have my listings sit. I want them to sell, so I want it to look great. I've literally emptied out my living room into a vacant listing because my clients were like, we can't afford to pay for the staging, but we want it. I'm like,
I got you.
I gotcha. And then I say to my husband, I'm taking our sofa, coffee table, this tree, that, and just move it all over. And I've had my clients go, where did you have this stuff? I'm like, my living room.
Yeah.
Watching TV on the floor.
Yeah, here's a picture of my husband watching TV on the floor. I got a supportive husband. So
He
you
is
know.
really good. I will tell you, he is so supportive. Guys, if you're going to be a realtor, you need a supportive spouse,
Yes.
somebody.
Yes.
He is fantastic. So, yeah.
I think a lot of people maybe miss that part of selling. They think, hey, I'm just selling a home. It's going to sell for whatever either way. I don't want to put in the work and stuff like that. But what you're saying is that actually matters. That staging and that cleaning up things and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you? You've seen that matter, or maybe speak more to that. It's just, I think, because sometimes people don't always value a realtor, right? They just think, hey, you're just making all this money. You just put it on the MLS and it sells and stuff like that. Obviously, you're taking a different stance there. You're saying, no, actually, there's a lot of work that goes involved.
Yes.
And we're able to sell it then for more than somebody that didn't, I would assume.
Oh, absolutely. Just consider, like, when you have your friends come over, aren't you getting your fake house ready, cleaning it all up and shining it all up, and everyone comes in and is like, oh, your place looks so good. Yeah. Versus if someone knocks on the door and just drops in on you, and then you're just like, oh, and then your place is, 'cause this is how I live, sorry. But you want buyers to be impressed, right? You want them to come in and be like, oh yeah, that's what you want. It absolutely makes a difference in the price point that you get and how fast it sells. So one of my problems is, when I have a listing, I cannot sleep until it's sold. I'm always waking up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, okay, what else can I do? Like, I want it to sell. I don't want it to sit on the market.
Is there a strategy with where you list it at too? Is there different strategies with?
Yes.
I've heard some say, hey, put it for top dollar, versus others say, if you put it a little bit lower, then you get a bidding war sometimes. Give me your thoughts on that.
All right. So here's my thoughts. Number one, it is not a guessing game. It's literally statistics. It's going to sell in a price range, right? There's a range where it will sell. And then it depends on your client. It's just like investing. Some people are like, hey, I'm a risk taker. Let's just go for it. I would rather take a risk and get a high return if possible, but I realize I could lose, right? That's the person who wants to list it at top dollar above what maybe the place is. If these are the numbers, they want to be up here and just go for it. The risk is, it could sit on the market for an extra 30 to 60 days. Yeah. You're probably going to have to reduce unless your home is just in perfect shape, where some people come in and are just like, wow, this is amazing. Ooh, that's a little steep, but we're looking at it because it's in our price range, so maybe this is the one we want. If you're priced just the sweet spot, you're probably going to get at least one offer, but maybe a few multiple offers of all people who are like, we would like this. My recommendation is always that sweet spot, because that's what gets people in, right? If it's way over and you're trying for that aspirational price point, you might get it, but maybe you won't get as many people in. Yeah. If you do let's price it low and see if we can get a bunch of people in, there is a chance that will happen, but I find most of my sellers don't feel comfortable doing that. They're worried, what if all the offers come in at that point or under? It seems like so many buyers want some kind of bargain, so they're always going to offer under, right? Unless you do immediately get a bunch of offers, and then you're like, we've got multiple, so you're going to have to come up if you want a chance. Yeah.
Which obviously, okay.
So it's a risk. Yeah. So there's a risk at the top one. There's a risk at the low one, right? Because what if you don't? What if you only get an offer at that lower price, but you probably should have listed it at the sweet spot, right? So there's risks both ways, but I do think it's dependent upon the location and the condition of the house.
Okay. So I love that. Yeah. Again, there's a lot more that I think goes into selling a home than maybe people think.
Oh yeah, a lot. There's a lot.
Especially, and I guess really what you're telling me and what you're showing me here is the value of a good realtor. Because like in any profession, not all people are created equal, right? You know what I mean? In the sense that some maybe do the bare minimum, still make the money, they're doing their thing. But obviously there's others like yourself that are really trying to add value and show, hey, this is what a good realtor does. This is there's more than just literally put it in on the MLS and hoping that something happens that's good.
And I think, and I could be wrong about this too, but this is the only thing that's going to keep someone like me in business against AI, right?
Sure.
There's all the conversation going, oh, we'll just have AI write my listing, and we'll have AI put it in the MLS. But what AI can't do is come in and, no, this plant needs to move down, and I'm going to put this chair over here. Yeah. You can put pictures in, but sometimes you do need that human touch. You
Yeah.
know what appeals to the people in your area. And as a realtor who's working on a regular basis, I think those are the people that kind of have a pulse on what is actually attracting people. You get a feel of what the average buyer is looking for, and you want to market your house in that average to get as many buyers as you can in that pool.
Are you seeing that a little bit in real estate and your office and stuff like that, where realtors are having to step up, the ones that are wanting to stay in the business? Are you seeing
I
that?
think it's not hasn't fully hit yet.
Okay.
That's what I think. And
Okay.
I think the realtors, first of all, Berkshire realtors tend to be very successful, and they stay at the brokerage for a long time. We have multiple people who've been there
Just, yeah.
15 to 25 years. A lot of people. That's a long time
is a
to
long
stay
time.
in one brokerage.
Yeah, especially realtors do hop around sometimes.
Yeah, and they're constantly being recruited. Like,
Yeah.
I'm constantly getting calls from other brokerages
Sure.
saying, hey, we kind of see your numbers. Do you
Yeah.
want to come over to us?
Sure, yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm happy here. I love our people. I
Yeah.
love my brokers. We have a great office culture. We do pay a little bit more in fees than some other brokerages. I'm okay with that
Yeah.
because I value those relationships that I have.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fully hit yet with AI, and I don't know what's exactly coming, but you can feel a shift trying to happen, right? So I don't know. I've heard the same with lenders. Like, what do
Yeah.
you guys think as far as lending? Is it going to be an AI issue, or what do you think?
So you can answer this too if you want,
Yeah.
but from my perspective, it's going to continue to affect our industry, yes, and you're going to see basically more tools that come into play. My thought is it's really just going to make me a better loan officer than I was before.
Right.
And so I'm going to now have more tools at my disposal to be able to use and to try to make the client experience better, to make the realtor partners that we have better for them and stuff like that. And ultimately, it's making me step up my game because, again, I have to add value. Otherwise, I am just a rate and
Right.
just here, do this. Why go to you instead? But yeah, you're trying to provide that experience, trying to hold people's hand. I think especially in this day and age, people like that human touch, right? We talk about mental health and different things like that nowadays, right? That's a known thing. I think people, some things are genuinely hard for people to do. Because they want somebody to say, hey, just help me.
Yeah.
Just hold my hand for a second. And I think that's where you and I and Case and everybody else comes into play, is just being able
Yeah.
to hold their hands a little bit through it. So AI, again, I think it just empowers us so that we can do more.
Yeah.
I'm not limited by how much I can do, but I don't know.
No, yeah, I agree. I think the agents and the loan officers that are able to implement new AI tools or softwares into their work are the ones that are going to be able to improve their business, right?
Yeah.
So I think the shift isn't going to be rather human loan officers or agents versus AI, but rather human loan officers that use AI versus people that don't use it. It's
Yeah.
going to be more the competition, I think.
Let's hope that's true.
Yeah.
I have had clients now. So in the past, it was always like, I looked on Zillow and I think that it should be this price, right?
Sure.
Or I looked
Yeah.
on Zillow and
Yep.
this feels like this home is too much. Even though we know that. So in California, the algorithms were pretty accurate because California is one of those states where it's all revealed.
Okay.
On Zillow, like
Yeah.
when a home sells, boom,
That's the
this
data.
is how much it sold for.
Yep.
On this date. So everything is out in the open. Utah's not that kind of state, right?
Yeah.
We think it's sold between here and here, and so the algorithm's always a little bit off, and it's not quite accurate. And as agents who have access to the MLS, or we can see, like,
Yep.
actually Zillow's off. I've got clients now where it was always Zillow says this. Now it's, I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT told me that
Interesting.
it should sell for this, or this area is only mainly this. And then if you are knowledgeable, then you can say, yeah, that's true, but there's also this that maybe it hasn't considered, or here are the actual prices, and this is where it's off.
Yeah, and ChatGPT just pulls from Zillow anyways, 90% of the
Yeah,
time. So.
it can be people who trust AI or ChatGPT. You've got to now walk a different line and trying to explain, because they're going to be resistant if it's something that they trust and you say, actually it's wrong. You have to walk a different line and say, let's see what we can find out also this way, and let's see where they meet. And
Which you brought up an interesting word there again, trust. Because you talk about building trust, different things like that. I think that is probably one of the main things that will separate, again, good loan officers, good realtors, good people in this industry from those, is that trust. Because ultimately, ChatGPT has everybody's trust right away, right?
Right.
Hey, this is a supercomputer, it's unbiased, it's just saying
Yeah.
things. And so that's what you're up against sometimes. And so you have to say,
Right.
hey, yes, there's truth there, but it doesn't have the whole picture, like you
Right,
just said,
right.
right? And so again, I think making sure that people trust you
Yeah.
is going to be probably one of the main factors going forward is, do I trust Naomi or not? You know what I mean? Compared to this. And again, ideally you're not at odds with ChatGPT, but you can expound upon it, right? I don't know, I'm just thinking so you should talk about the future with AI. That's probably the differentiator is going to be trust, is be my guess.
Yeah.
Is you continuing to be trusted by people. I don't know.
I think the other thing is right now people are going to be able to use AI to accelerate their business, but at what point will AI then become the competition?
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. Technology is not my friend. But
We'll watch the future.
we'll see what happens.
We'll check in a year or two and see how you're doing and have you back on. And all right, here's what's happened. Yes, AI's changed.
I'm actually curious about Case. You seem so
Yeah.
young, and I know you're probably older than you look.
Yeah.
And so how is
Like,
it
maybe.
for you to break into a new industry? Like, how has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been like an adventure. I don't know. Let's see. Give me a second to think. It'll edit it, give you a good answer. Yeah, so I guess just with lending in the mortgage industry and real estate, I feel like there's so much to learn that initially it was just very overwhelming, and I kind of just had to do it one step at a time, not to overwhelm myself, and really just trust the process. Luckily, we have a great team here, and Ryan's been awesome.
Oh, that's
just
good.
throughout my experience here, my time here, being able to learn and everything from great team members and awesome boss and everything. So I think that has been a huge benefit just an advantage that I've had compared to if I was just by myself.
Right.
I feel like getting started on your own 100%, just
Yeah.
no knowledge of how it works and just getting into it without any mentors or anybody to help you, I think that would have been a lot more difficult. Luckily, I've been blessed to have a great environment, great office to work in, and it's definitely been fun getting started. And then I feel like it is a little bit risky, but I feel like it can definitely pay off, and I'm the kind of person who's gonna just lock in and just grind it out,
Risk
and
it
I'll make
for
it
the
happen.
biscuit.
Exactly. And I'm 21 right now, so there's not a huge, as big of a risk. You got started you were a lot older. 2017 was when you started, so I feel like even though you guys were pretty well off financially, it was probably a lot riskier than me. I feel like I have a lot more time to break it in
Yeah.
and get going. But yeah.
The benefit of being young is you don't have as many expenses as maybe we do as you
True.
get older, right?
Right.
Kids and different things like
Yeah,
that. It's harder.
exactly.
But when you're first young, hey, you can live out of a cardboard box kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not that you do.
Sleep on your friend's sofa,
That's exactly
in your
right, you know.
parents' basement,
So-
wherever
Yeah.
it
But
needs
you
to be.
have a little more flexibility. But that's why I think, frankly, it's the best time to start is when you're young.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Is because because you are taking a risk, right? Going into this industry. And if it doesn't pay off, okay, whatever. But it could also pay off very well. And obviously,
Yeah.
there's not as many people your age starting in this business. And so I think there's an advantage that comes with youth, because sometimes when you get older, we're not pounding the pavement maybe as much as somebody like him,
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
so I think that's the advantage of youth sometimes is they're a little hungrier than maybe, say, somebody that's a little more established and it's like, I'm going to wait for my connections to come in to me. And so you and I have the wisdom, the knowledge, we've been doing this for a little while, but he's hungry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not that we're not hungry, I don't mean to.
No, I know what you're saying. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. And I totally respect that you're popping into this now, because think about 5 years from now, think about 10 years from now. Some people are still just getting started at 30. You're going to have 10 years under your belt
Yeah.
where you're going to know what you're talking about. You will have had experiences of good and bad clients. You're going to know, oh, you know what? I know what I can do to make this work because you're already in it. And I think that's fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it'll be an adventure.
Good job, Case. So on that note, talking about lenders and stuff like that, what makes a good lender to you? Obviously, I'm sure you've had partnerships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. And why is that? So I'll let you answer that. And then also to build off of that, if you're talking to a buyer, for example, why is that lending realtor partnership important too? So you can speak to both those.
So the first one, what makes a good lender, and these are my opinions. I know everyone's different. Number one, communication. I need to know when I call, I'm going to get a response. If you're not available, I'm going to get a response within the next 30 minutes to an hour. There's nothing I hate more than not hearing from a lender when I have a question that I need answered right away,
Yeah.
or just updates, just the regular updates, not every day, 10 times a day, but let me know what's happening.
Yeah.
And full transparency. If there's right off the bat or even somewhere mid through, like you guys are seeing something that if a lender sees, ooh, this could potentially be an issue, I want to know. I don't want to be like, I don't want to tell them because I don't want them to know. I feel like we're a team. So if I know what the issue is going to be, I can also relate to my client, hey, this could potentially be an issue. What can we do about this? Or just to give you guys a heads up, I don't want you to be disappointed. I'm just letting you know this could happen. So I feel like communication, full transparency, and then just know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Be a competent lender. I know it's numbers, so anyone who's good with numbers is going to have, obviously, a lot of competency there. I'm not a fantastic number person, so I do rely heavily on my lender. If my client asks me a question, I don't try to fudge anything. I'm like, you know what? That's a lender question.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's give Case a call. Give Brian a call.
Yeah.
Let's go directly to them because they're the ones that know.
Yeah.
I don't fudge anything with my clients. So for me, I think those are the two things. I don't care what kind of office you work out of. I don't care if you work out of your basement. I just want to know you're competent and can get the job done.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, because it, like you said, it comes back to them, their opinion of you as the realtor, right? If, for example, something comes up mid-transaction and the lender doesn't tell you, eventually, if it does become a problem, they're going to want to hold you responsible as the realtor for not
Right.
informing them, even though it could be something you had no fault in because you had no idea.
But more importantly, I think that it's important that the client understands where they stand
Yeah.
at all times. This doesn't look good, we need to fix this, or this is great, you're good to go, or whatever
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
exactly. Yep.
When issue came up, when we sent it to underwriting, we need this. And when a lender is very responsive, then it's easier for me to tell my client, look, they've been very responsive to you. I need you to be responsive to them. You need to respond to them right away. I don't want them waiting on you. So again, it's that whole team effort. You guys need certain things. They have certain information. They need to respond. They need you to respond. I need you guys to respond. I need them to respond. It's that whole
Yeah.
big thing that
Yeah.
works together.
Love that. And as far as buyers go and stuff like that, are you seeing a lot of times them coming to you with a lender? Do they come to you first and say, okay, hey, should I get pre-approved? What's the order a lot of times?
It really varies. So sometimes if it's somebody I've worked with before, then they already have a lender, right? They've used a certain person before. Sometimes someone will just out of the blue, hey, so-and-so gave us your name. We're thinking we might want to buy something. And then I always ask the question, are you already working with a lender?
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, we have a friend, or my parents know somebody, or blah, blah. But a lot of times they'll say, yeah, we haven't got that far yet. And then I will always say, well, that's your very first step.
Yeah.
Before we can even figure out what we should be looking at, we need to know what is your price point. So can I recommend a lender to you? I'll send over 3 names. I always send at least 3. And that's, in California, it's a big liability. If you
Sure.
just say one and then something goes south, you're going to get sued. I don't think it's that big of an issue. I've heard a lot of people in Utah say, no, I just give one. And I'm like, so I just make sure I give them choices. But I think it does make a difference if I'm like, I really like these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not try and get them to go that way, but help them to know they can trust.
Yeah.
You can trust this, you can trust this, you can trust.
Yeah. Your recommendation has a lot of weight.
And also, I think sometimes I do try to match personalities, which is why I try and get to know the lenders too,
Yeah.
is because sometimes you know that this client is high strung, and I know that this lender is also high strung, and I'm like, this is not going to get done if I put these two together, right?
Sure.
But if I know this lender is good at managing, they've got a nice personality, and these people might be a little bit harder, but I think that these lenders can handle this guy.
Yep.
I try and put them together because you want it to be as smooth as possible, right? And so
Yes.
everything that you can put in your favor helps. And I actually tell my clients, look, working with your lender, it's almost like they're looking in your underwear drawer. You got to tell them everything. I don't want you to try and fudge anything. They need to know everything. So when you talk to these lenders, because I give them 3, when you talk to them, get a feel for if you think you're going to get along with this person, because you're going to be
Yeah.
in the trench together.
Yeah.
So
We'll find out everything.
Yeah. So I want you to work with the person you're comfortable with, and then once you make your decision, give them everything.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Naomi, this has been great.
Thank you. It's
getting
been
to know
fun
you.
for me too.
Yeah.
I feel like I
been
hogged
cool.
the whole thing.
No, you're the guest person here, right? So we want you to. This has been great to get to know you. Obviously, you're doing really well. Glad you're having so much success in this and stuff like that. Is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to cover before we kind of conclude here?
Not anything I can necessarily think of. You guys weren't very funny. I just was hoping
We
for
are.
something.
So we are. Good. Naomi, I appreciate all you're doing. I like what you said at the very beginning with this job makes a difference.
Yeah.
We really are making a difference in people's lives as far as getting them into homes. It's one of the best ways to build wealth slowly,
Yes.
but it has happened. Do you know what I mean? Over
Yeah.
time and stuff like that. And it changes people's lives versus a lifetime of renting and
Right.
stuff. And so I'm a big proponent of it. Obviously, you're doing a lot of great work with that. Glad you're doing this. Again, we need good people in this industry that are doing the job right, I guess,
Yeah.
is what I would say. Elevating the experience
Yeah.
for everybody, which I
Well,
think you're
it's
doing.
been so great to meet you guys. It's been interesting to meet Case,
Yeah.
and
good
he's
job,
doing
Case.
a great job.
Good.
Like, hey, I got this thing. You want to come over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Sure.
was cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I'd love to be able to bring you guys some business if I can.
We would love that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we would. So appreciate you, Naomi.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to From Rents to Roots. I hope today's episode gave you insight, confidence, and maybe even a little inspiration on your homeownership journey. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find it helpful. And if you're ready to take the next step in buying a home or just have questions, reach out to me or my team at Work Hard Mortgage. We'd love to help you on your path to homeownership. Until next time, keep working hard, keep building your future, and we'll see you soon.